Well, welcome to the Aging Boomers. I'm your host, Frank Sampson, and the Aging Boomers is a show we discuss many of the issues facing the boomers and an aging population, their parents, and we have wonderful guests on the show, and we've gotten some great comments. Pretty excited because we're on iTunes now, so you could go to iTunes and listen. Love to hear your comments as well. And just recently we've set up an app, so you could actually download an app on your iPhone or Android. Just type in, go to search, type in the Aging Boomers, and you could download and listen to all of our podcasts. And we've had some good ones. So listen to some of the past ones, and we have, of course, a great guest today. Her name is Joy Loverde. She is recognized as one of the following leading experts on successful aging and elder care. Her best-selling book, The Complete Eldercare Planner, reflects the depth of her understanding and compassion for the needs of older Americans. Joy's over 25 years' experience as a media spokesperson and has appeared on the Today Show, CBS Early Show, CNN Headline News, ABC News Now, Fox News, National Public Radio, WGN, First Business Review, and many others. She works with family members and organizations that want to lessen the financial and emotional burdens of caring for elderly loved ones. She also serves as a consultant to attorneys, financial planners, clergy professionals, administrators, and other members of this fast-growing elder care advisory industry. I'm out of breath, Joy. Welcome.
I am too.
That's you've accomplished quite a bit, and you've got a great book, the Elder Care Planner, the Complete Eldercare Planner. So, kind of tell us what into your thoughts of what inspired you to write the book.
Well, way back when I was a freshman in high school, I volunteered to go to a nursing home. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and the sisters asked the freshman class to volunteer. Well, I was one of the volunteers. And we walked into a nursing home on Thanksgiving morning, and there were a bunch of people sitting in the dark. And I really couldn't comprehend why these people weren't somewhere else with family, and that got the ball rolling in my head. You know, did they not plan for the quality of their life? And I wondered about that. And it was when I reached my 40s that I decided to write a book about it, so that it would help people plan ahead and get the families together.
It's a wonderful thing. You have so much information in it. I'm just wondering the areas that people have made most comments about, most interest. I mean, I'll give you, let our listeners tell them kind of some of the areas: money matters, legal matters, insurance, housing, death and dying. I mean, there's that's just I'm just touching on it. So, what are those areas you probably talk about the most?
Well, what's interesting about my book is not something you read. You can literally look at the table of contents and look at what I offer as a place to start. So maybe money, which is the number one place you should start if you have nothing in mind. So you look at the table of contents and you make a decision. What do you need to address first? So when people open the book, they won't necessarily read it from cover to cover. They can literally just go to address the issues at hand. Now, here's the neat thing that's happening in the world of elder care. The book is now applying to us. So many people are going beyond planning for parents and other loved ones in their lives, and now beginning to address issues of aging as it relates to ourselves. All of us have friends who are aging. Many of us have spouses and partners and siblings. Some people have to address the aging process of special needs children as well as grandchildren. So now what's happening is we're taking a look at this book from the perspective of the next generation, and that is us.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing that I talk about not only in my business, but it's probably mentioned on every single one of our podcasts, is that people, need to plan. However, most don't. I mean, that's the reality of it. They wait for something to happen. Mom or dad had a fall. They notice some things cognitively with them, but don't do anything until it gets too serious. So how do you, how do you get people, to plan?
Well, the way that I do it is I plan and then I tell everyone else. So this is the theory of, well, I'll go first. So if I take a look at what must be done, let's say from a legal point of view, so that means maybe putting a will together, putting together my finances, and having my power of attorney for healthcare, I get my act together first. And then I go around the family, including my children, and I say, here's what you need to know about my plans for the future. So I get my stuff done first, and then I give it and distribute it as it should be to everyone else around me, including aging parents. And then I say, okay, I'm done. Now it's your turn. We can't expect other people to do this kind of planning if we haven't done it ourselves, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely right. So set an example. Set an
example, and then insist on having them at least begin the process. Have them start somewhere. Maybe the easiest place to start is this power of attorney for healthcare.
Yeah, that's a necessity. I don't think people, it's really a lousy name, don't you think? Power of attorney.
Oh boy, let's change that.
Let's change the name, because when people hear power of attorney, they go, "Oh, I've got to go to my attorney. It's going to get expensive. I don't want to deal with it now." But even though it's called power of attorney, it's always good to have an attorney help you with it. But it's not a necessity. Is that right?
It's exactly right. In fact, that form is free. You can get that anywhere. You can get it at a hospital. You can get it at the local Department on Aging. You can get it at a nursing home. It's free. You can download it on the internet as long as it's designated by the state where you live. You're good to go.
And I think everybody needs to understand, maybe you want to get into it a little more on power of attorney, that if you're dealing with a parent in their 80s or even 90s, and you want them to sign power of attorney, they're not signing over their independence or their decision-making. It's just doing it if they're in a situation where they are not able to make the decisions. But as long as they're able to make decisions, even though they've signed a power of attorney, they're fine. I mean, is that correct?
Yes, it's absolutely correct. It's especially you need that in the event of selling real estate. For instance, if you need to sell the house because you have to pay for long-term care for a parent, and if your parents are both owners of the house, the children will require the power of attorney forms. Now, maybe the parent has the power of attorney for each other. Either way, that power of attorney, should one or the other become incapacitated, you can't sell the house without it. So that's a great reason to get going right now.
Yeah. I mean, and don't wait until you get to, I have a power of attorney and I consider myself pretty healthy, but you never know what tomorrow will bring. So it's always good to have a power of attorney just in case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was in a situation where we couldn't sell real estate because one of the people had become incapacitated. Now, they had claimed that they had power of attorney, but my mistake was not actually seeing the document ahead of time. We had assumed it was in the box in the closet, the famous box in the closet where all the papers are kept, or the file. So when I had asked, do you have power of attorney, and everybody said yes, turned out the answer was no.
Interesting. And so what do you do in a situation, these are tougher ones, but I know that you can handle tough questions. But you're in a situation where, let's say, the daughter or the son goes to mom or dad and tries to explain power of attorney to them. They're in a situation where they're starting to have cognitive issues, and they say, no, we don't need to do that. I'm okay. I can make my own decisions. Now what?
Well, no does not mean no in elder care land. It means I heard you, and I don't have to answer this right now. So no doesn't mean no. It's just a time saver sometimes for people who are afraid to face what needs to be done. So perhaps we're not the right person to bring up that very sensitive subject, or perhaps we can engage someone else to bring it up, like an attorney or a doctor, or sometimes it's a daughter or son-in-law that has less of an edge on these very sensitive conversations. So consider the fact that we may not be the best person for the job.
Got it. No, that's great input. What about long-term care insurance? I think you discuss that in your book. What are your thoughts there? I mean, people that go, well, that's just too expensive. You hear that a lot. What are your thoughts on getting, especially, somebody in their 80s, 90s is going to be too expensive, obviously.
It is.
Somebody in their 50s, maybe even 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, might be more affordable depending on their health, of course. But talk about that a little bit.
You bet. I don't see long-term care insurance as something that's purchased by age. It is definitely available to anyone over the age of 18 years old. Anything can happen to us at any time that may require us to have long-term care in an institutional setting or at home. So I look at it as part of a healthy financial portfolio. Now, people can purchase this, as I said, at any time after the age of 18. We can purchase it or have our children have this. So the earlier, the cheaper the policy. And then at some point, if it looks like later on your finances are fine and you've maintained a healthy lifestyle and it doesn't look like you're going to need it when you get to be in the upper ages, you can drop it. Then, you're done. But it is really a safety net. I have a good friend who has Parkinson's. He's been in assisted living over 12 years. He literally could not survive the lifestyle that he has without long-term care insurance.
Yeah, I mean, insurance, you always think, there's an insurance out there that's mandatory, like auto insurance.
Right.
But, long-term care isn't. But, what's pretty, what I find very interesting today, especially someone who hasn't even gotten life insurance yet, they're selling kind of combination life and long-term care, which is, I think, a great combination because, as you get older and the kids are off on their own, that they're doing okay, maybe you don't need as much life insurance. but you're going to need more long-term care. So it gives you that option. I don't know the particulars of it, but there's good options out there.
And the other thing is, if you wait too long, you won't qualify.
That's right.
And by wait too long, I mean your health may not allow you to even get it. So why not purchase it when you're healthy?
All right. So I know your book is filled with good information. Who's the target? I mean, is the target the boomers, our listeners here, or who's your target?
Well, now it's the boomers. Many of our parents we've done a lot of planning, and now we're looking at ourselves. So we use this as a resource to guide us through our own aging process.
And what could people, if I was holding the book in my hand and looking, kind of skimming through it and looking, what am I going to see? I mean, how's it kind of set up?
The setup is by every single category that we will address as we want to prepare for a quality of life. So the setup is looking at the table of contents and seeing all the things like housing, like insurance, like caregiving options, and so on. Money, for sure, is at the top of that list. And the first place everybody needs to go is the money chapter. You talk about the sticker shock of living a long life. People have no idea of how expensive it is. What you can do now in a proactive situation is go to the money chapter and take a look at all the things that we can do right now to prepare for financing a longer life.
And they could go on Amazon or some other site that you could certainly bring up now, but to look at the table of contents, they could kind of get preview of it before making a purchase, correct?
Absolutely. It is in its 6th edition, so they want the 2009 edition. Everything is extremely relevant to our lives. It is published by Random House, and so it is available wherever books are sold.
Great. So you have to have some, great stories, all right? Meaning, there's, sometimes people will relate to various stories, actual stories of people and families and issues. Are there any actual examples that you could share that come to mind that really make some important points as it relates to the whole planning part?
Well, as it relates to the planning part, keeping in mind the stories, the successful stories that I hear from caregivers are the ones where the caregivers have kept the relationship intact. Now, sometimes we're on a path to solve a problem with loved ones as it relates to planning ahead. So if we treat the people we're talking to like they're a problem to solve, we're going to get in some hot water with the relationship. And once the relationship is damaged, we're going to be hard-pressed to get it back on track. So the stories that I love to listen to from caregivers are the ones where they say, we have this incredible relationship and a respectful relationship, and we did this under those circumstances. Now, that means that a lot of caregivers were patient, and they were kind and not in a hurry to treat their parents and loved ones like they were a problem. Those are the best outcomes.
Yeah, so what I take from that is, don't go up to mom or dad and say, you need this, you need that, you're losing your memory, you're,
right.
Don't point the finger at them. Is that kind
right.
of what you're saying?
Yes. Don't forget the relationship. Everyone is in the same boat. We're all doing this together. do what you can to ask questions rather than make statements. It might take a little longer, but in the long run, if you keep that relationship intact, everyone will be better off.
So what suggestions would you have? And I deal with this all the time in my business, but you have a family member, son, daughter, and it's time for one or both of their parents to make a move. You know, they're living at home. They have been living independently. That's what they want to do the rest of their life, but the kids aren't nearby. Maybe they don't live in the same area. They're either going to have to get some help at home on a more regular basis, or they're going to have to make a move. All right. Parent says again, no, we're fine. What any suggestions you have as far as an approach?
Sure. I'm in this situation right now with an elderly aunt, and it's very clear to me that she is having difficulty at home. However, she sees it quite differently. She is in love with staying home and will do anything, even if safety is an issue, to stay there. I have been working with her for over 3 years on the idea about moving. So you can imagine my patience level has to be very, very high, especially when I see her getting in trouble in terms of safety. So while she continues to tell me she is not moving no matter what, I continue to raise the trust level with her by not telling her she has to move, but by being prepared myself for anything to happen. And so when things happen, I'm there. We take care of the problem, and she stays put. The other thing is, from time to time, she is more willing to accept people coming in to help her when she needs it. There will come a time, Frank, unfortunately, in this situation where something may happen and she will be out of options and choices on where she goes next. My aunt and I have had this frank conversation, and she understands that is the consequence she is paying. But out of respect for her and my relationship with her, this is the way it's going to be. Now, not everybody, there's a lot of people who say, okay, well, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And maybe someday she'll call me and she'll say, I'm ready. That's what my mom did. And again, with my mom, it took me 5 years of being there for her.
I have found that, again, putting it on yourself, let's say I'm the adult child or niece, nephew, saying, Mom, Dad, I can't sleep at night. I can't concentrate on work. I'm worrying about you, on and on and on. Will you do this for me? I found that doesn't always work, but I found that you have a better shot at it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, anything's worth trying, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. So tell what are the types of things we only have another minute or so. So what would you like to leave our listeners with? What would you like them to take away from our conversation today? And certainly like you to share with them how they could get more information on yourself and the book, etc.
Well, first of all, I'm happy to tell you that several days ago, I was informed that my website was chosen the best caregiver website for 2014 from seniorhousing.com. So I would love for people to come to my website, which is elderindustry.com. I think the reason it was chosen this year is I had decided to put a lot of downloads from my book on my website. So you could go to the download section on the website and actually download the forms and the checklists, which is what my book is famous for. Keeps you organized, and it's all there for you to just download and begin the process of planning ahead.
That's great. And tell us the what's the URL again?
It is going to be Elder Industry, one word, elderindustry.com.
Well, that's great. Wonderful.
Yeah, I was really, really happy to hear that, and my intention with this website is to help people immediately. Go there. There's articles. When we are finished with the podcast, this podcast will be posted on there. The idea is they can go to my website and get lots of help immediately.
That's great. Great. Well, Joy, it was a joy having you on the show. I'm sure you get that a lot. You know, people say to me, to be frank, but it was it was really a joy to have you on, and we got to have you back. Lots to talk about.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you all for listening to the Aging Boomers. And go check out all of our podcasts. You could go to iTunes, just type in the Aging Boomers. Love to hear your comments. You could also go to my website at theagingboomers.com. And again, thank you. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you all soon.